Welcome back to It All Comes Back to Astrology. We are your hosts, Abbie and Linzy, and today we are going to be talking about numbers. Straight up.
Yes.
Straight up numbers. We're talking about angel numbers, number essences, and the Enneagram.
Going back to basics, back to numbers. They're not basic, but they're foundational.
Yeah,
would you
they
say?
are like the most basic in a mystical way. They're like the most basic in terms of we need them to live. Do we?
We'd be dead without numbers. We wouldn't know what's going on with numbers. What I'm most excited about is, Linzy, I've known you for 12 years now. 13.
Yeah.
13 years. 13 years in like July.
Okay, 13 is the goddess number, by the way.
Oh my God. See, this is what I'm so excited about. You've been talking about numbers for as long as I've known you.
Really?
We'll be, I think
Yeah,
so.
I mean-
Like how you just said 13, the goddess number. And then the conversation just continues on as normal. But it leaves me wanting more of like, I want to know what you know. And today is the day that I find out some of what you know.
It's my hobby. People have normal hobbies like skiing or knitting or I don't know, something like that. And I am like, cool, I stay up at night studying the number 5. And like, what does that mean?
I love that for you. It's so healthy.
It's really healthy being up at 3 a.m. studying what is 7 ? To Google.
You're not causing any harm. You're just out here figuring out the like core essence of something, a universal like.
Yeah, like a universal law. And the Enneagram, for anybody that is familiar with the Enneagram, which is sort of a light-hearted gateway drug to numerology. Can I say that on here?
Well, we just did.
The Enneagram is a gateway drug to numerology. So we're going to be talking about that today. I'll jump right in. So the Enneagram is a westernized personality test. I don't know about you, Abbie, but I've been asked to take it for like at a work conference. So it's very light. It's very like, let's get to know each other. Let's take the Enneagram and get to know your personality traits through this test. And the test was formed by a few different people. I think it was like the 60s, 70s. The type descriptions, the number descriptions, what the Enneagram sits on top of is like a more mystical mountain of numerology. The result of the Enneagram is a 1 through 9. So when you take the test, you'll get your results back. For all the millennials, like taking the Harry Potter test, like your score, like you're Gryffindor or you're Slytherin or you're Hufflepuff. Enneagram will pop out a result like you are, like the number that's most associated with your personality traits is the number 4. And it's 1 through 9 are the numbers because 10 resets back to 1. So everything is like syncopated into its essence. So a 10 would be a 1, an 11 is the master number, so it stays 11. A 12 would like dissolve down into a 3 because 2 plus 1 is 3. It all like comes down to its essence. We were asked to take this personality test at work and we were going around in a circle like, how did you feel about being labeled, an 8? And one of the coworkers who's very not into it, obviously you have to be into it. I'm into it. Abbie, hope maybe one day you'll be into it, but it's like,
I'm already in.
his response.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Somebody around the table was like, like, I don't relate to my number. This feels like a horoscope. And I was like, that is exactly right. It is like a horoscope because it's a mystical thing, because it's like.
This sounds mystical. I'm skeptical of this. This sounds like magic.
And to me, it's just like, I think we interact a lot and like with a lot of, especially with astrology, it's like, oh my God. So people kind of have a same strong reaction about Enneagrams. So just be aware of that.
I've never had to take. Like, I do like numbers. I have 444 on my arm, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, we've got our number tats. So I like numbers. I just haven't deep dove. I didn't really actually know about the Enneagram. I had to do the Clifton Strengths test. I had to do that. But I never been told to take the Enneagram. People used to talk about it at my the acupuncture clinic I worked at in Chicago. 5 Point, love you forever. People would talk about it and they had books like sitting around about the Enneagram and they're like, oh, Abbie, don't take a test online. You have to like read a book and like discover it for yourself. And so that's why I haven't done it. It's not because I don't want to. I started it before this podcast, but I'm on page 6 out of 11. So
I would agree to that to a point, because like the books on it, there are a lot of books on it. You can deep dive, because it's fascinating how they layer on top of each other. Like I'm a 7, but then my wing numbers are a 5 and a 6. And so it's like those are my supporting numbers. All of them are associated with the mind and analytical, like in your head. And I'm like, classic Gemini moon. So it's just like interesting how everything kind of like layers on top of each other.
so you get multiple numbers. It's not one number with the Enneagram. You said you get wings and supporting.
Depending on the test, I've taken one where the result is a single number, and you can look at the description 1 through 9. And then I've taken a test where it's your main number and then 2 wing numbers. They all interact like 1 through 9, and it's all in a circle. And then you kind of like a chart, actually. So all the numbers are around a circle, and the lines can connect the numbers across the circle, and like your wings can connect to each other. And there's also like a light side and a shadow side of each number. I am a 7, so that's my Enneagram. And the Enneagram Institute is a good website to look at, because you can go through and look at type descriptions, and then you can look at the light side and the shadow side. So if you're really in a healthy space, like you're doing great, life's flowing, like you're really in your groove, these traits might pop up. But then say like you're having a hard time, you're in your shadow side, you're going through a dark night of the soul, these characteristics might pop up, or these types of reactions might pop up. It would be kind of like a 7 in detriment, or a 7 in its exaltation. So it's kind of cool too, because what I love about the Enneagram and what I love about numbers in general is like it's not judgmental. It just like allows everyone to be themselves, and like if you're having a hard time, this might show up, and if you're having a good time, this might show up. But it's not necessarily like, nothing is like good or bad. It just is. And so I think it's just like a great way for self-discovery and like self-realization, because you're just a number. Like there's no bad number. Like it's not like, you're going to hell because you're number 7. It's just like, okay, this might show up of like who you are and how you are and how you go about things.
So no hell in numbers.
No. Only heaven.
That's so 7 heaven.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I think that's like one of the things that I love about, astrology, or all these like personality type things. I mean, astrology and numerology is so much more than just a personality test.
Totally.
But I think there's certain people that put up walls to that kind of thing, because maybe they don't want to be pigeonholed, or maybe they just don't want to look at themselves in that way, like kind of self-reflect. But of course it's helpful. I mean, this is what our podcast is all about, is like knowing yourself better so that you can help the world better and help yourself. Numbers just seem like the foundation, like the essence. Like there's no Leo, there's no Capricorn, it's just like a pure, like a pillar.
Yes. And that's exactly it. So each number has its own essence, like its own energy. My interpretation of it was similar to music notes. Like the music note C is like a sound, and like that is the music note C. Like it's just one vibration, it's one sound, and it's the same every time. So if you applied that to each number, like the number 1 has like a sound, like one frequency, like the number 1 is this note, and then the number 2 is this note, and they're not good or bad. It's just like a number 2 sounds like this, a number 3 sounds like this, a number 4 sounds like this. It's fun when you interact with other personalities and other groups, or like you're all going through your own evolution. It's kind of like the chords on a guitar. It's like you're combining all the different number essences in self to like create your own unique makeup of self. So it's like cool, because you can look at your birth date, like the day of your birthday, as its own essence, that we come into the world each with a different number. Like we're each a different birth number, and that can give us like a lot of guidance as to what our essence is. I came in through 25. So like 25 is a 7 essence. It's also a 2 and a 5 essence. And like that layer, those layers, like the 2, 5, 7 is like my essence. And
whoa,
yeah, it's really fun.
So your Enneagram number 7, but also your birthday number is a 7. They just happen to be the same thing.
I've thought about this, and for a while I was on a big kick that was like, you don't even have to take the Enneagram because your numerology tells you what your Enneagram would be. I was like on this big kick, and I started doing this secret quest between myself and myself. And I was like, for a while, and I was like, people that knew their Enneagrams, I was curious, like, what is your birthday? Like, does that correlate to your Enneagram? Like, I don't know what kind of scientist I was out in the wild of like, everybody's like, why are you asking me this? And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm running a study. Like, so.
She's always doing studies out here. Funded by yourself.
Funded by myself. And
hey, Rachel's like, is Lindsay a scientist? Like when she listened to the podcast
so
and heard
funny
you
about
talking?
the 7 essence is like science-y, intuitive spirituality, and same with the 5. The 5 are known for like analytical science stuff.
What were the results of your study?
My most recent case, when I bought my Jeep.
Your case.
I bought my Jeep down in a small town called Salida, and it's like everyone in the town knows each other. And I sat down at the bar with the guy who sold me the car, and like I'm talking to him and the owner who knew my uncle, and I'm like trying to get information because he's like a stranger. So I was like, "Have you ever taken the Enneagram?" And he had. And then as the conversation was going with the beers, I was like, "Oh, like
what's your birthday?" Lindsay having beer with guys at bars. First, like, I want to get to know you. Let me ask if they've taken the Enneagram. I love that. That's really how you get to know someone. It's really how you get to know someone.
His didn't quite match up. So he was an anomaly, and that had to put me back to square one. So I don't actually have an answer. I'm still on the case, but I do think that they correlate. I just haven't like really gotten a lot of case studies done yet.
With the birthday number, that's the life path number, right?
Well, no. There's many interpretations. There's different systems, like different numerology systems, the Chaldean system, the Pythagorean, I'm saying all these words wrong, system, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's like people online that have different discourses. So this is my interpretation of it. I see like your birth date, the day, as kind of like your essence. I think the month number that you're born into is kind of like collective themes for the people born in that month. And then I think that your year number is actually important for like everybody born in your year has a mission underneath that number. If you distill your month, your day, and the year down into one number, so like add up your month number, say it's 8, say you're born on the 22nd, 8 plus 4, and then the year, like say it's a 4, whatever, then that's your life path number. There's layers. So your life path number is like your mission over your whole life. And so that's like what you're striving towards. Sometimes it's also the same number as your essence. Like you might be an essence 7, but then a life path 7. And it's like, cool, that's like crazy. Like that's my theme. Like I'm a 7 theme. Like I'm that essence, and I'm also striving to like deepen in that energy during this lifetime. Or they might differ. They're more often than not, they're going to be different numbers.
Wow.
So
I feel like I'm learning so much about you right now. I feel like I'm like really getting to know this part of you that's been there that I've only gotten glimpses of like once in a while. And I feel like I'm really getting in your brain, and I'm really enjoying it. I hope that didn't make you uncomfortable. I'm really enjoying being in your brain.
This is my brain.
This is so cool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is your brain. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Crack a beer open with me, and if you get me talking about, oh, when's your birthday, you'll know I'm on a case study.
It's so interesting. Yeah, the layers. It's going to sound dumb, but like I'm watching Bridgerton again because I'm in a show.
Yes.
I'm in a Bridgerton themed show, and so I'm doing research. That's why I'm rewatching for the 3rd time. Okay. I went back to season 1, surprisingly, because I ran out of things to rewatch. And I'm like, which one have I rewatched the least? I've never rewatched season 1. Anyway, one of the Featherington girls, I was like, she seems like she's my age, or like she seems like in 1993. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I just had a vibe about her. I was like, something about her vibe as like an actor just felt, and she is 1993. I swear to God,
once you start seeing a world with this lens, you're going to start seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the 93 vibe?
I know a little bit about it.
Yeah,
what did you think it was?
I don't know. I didn't go past that. I was just like, she feels like 1993 in some like familiar way. I kept thinking like Sagittarius in my head, but I know she's not a Sagittarius, but like the North Node was in Sagittarius. Yeah. You know, I'm a North Node in Sagittarius, South Node Gemini. You do? So I think, yeah, I'm North Node Sag, South Node Gemini, 1993 baby. My brain went to astrology, didn't go to numbers. It was just like something about this energy feels familiar, and it's my age group, and I can't explain why.
All these esoteric systems back in the day, all these like ancient civilizations. It's so cool once you dive in because they kind of all start to overlap. The Chinese zodiac is so fascinating where they group by year. So like all the 93 babies are one animal, and then all the 94 babies are one animal. Yeah, rooster. And a monkey.
Oh, yeah, you're a water monkey,
I'm a water
right?
monkey. But I think that's like so cool because it's just like, wow, they also were trying to capture what you and I are just trying to explain right now. Like I can't explain it, but like she's a 93 baby. Like I can't explain it, but she's born in July. I can't explain it, but she and I have the same vibe, and it's because we both are in a collective energy. I'm fascinated by the year you're born. Number one, I believe that souls come in groups. I think maybe as a soul, maybe not, maybe you're like, well, what up? Let me jump in. I don't care if I'm a 93 or a 97 or whatever. Like, I'm ready.
Put me in wherever, coach. I just want to be in. I just want to be on the team.
But it is like teams. It's like, it feels like, okay, we're all 93s. We're on our little 93 team. Like, this is our lesson. And for 1993, that distills down into a 22, which is a master number.
What?
Yes.
I love more reasons to feel special. You can quote me on that. I found a new reason to feel special again. Thank you, Lindsay. Tell me more.
You're very welcome.
Tell me more about why 93s are fucking amazing.
Oh my God, obsessed. So 1 + 9 + 9 + 3. Let me check my math. 22. And there's 3 master numbers. It's just the double. The number 11, the number 22, and the number 33. And you can have a life path that's that too. Like my friend's, like her inner essence is a 3, and then she married like a 33 life path. Like her husband is that. And I was like trying to like explain that to her without sounding literally insane. I was like, it's really fascinating because your essence matches perfectly with his like master number life path. And she's like, okay, anyway.
Dakota's a 33.
Yeah, so he's a master number.
I'm curious, I don't want to send us too much in the wrong direction, but I'm like, okay, so what year that you're in your life? So he's life path 33. And I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing? He knows everything. I should listen to him more.
Everybody has something to say. Let's be clear. Like all numbers are important.
So I've been saying it's Dakota month. His birthday was it's June 26th. His birthday is June 5th. And he hasn't had to travel for work because of the World Cup. So he's been going to games. We took vacation. Our best friend Nicole was visiting on his birthday. We did a Twin Peaks themed birthday. Not on purpose. It just kind of happened.
Twin Peaks themed?
We stumbled upon the places it was filmed.
Yeah.
Here, or we stumbled upon the diner, and then I was like, okay, well now we have to go to Snoqualmie Falls.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, oh, Dakota, we rented a room at the YMCA, and you have a Twin Peaks themed birthday cake. And no, that wasn't real. But his parents were like, really? And I'm like, no, it was a joke. Anyway, it's Dakota month.
I love.
It's what I keep saying. It's Dakota month. I'm like, how is 33 so far, babe? And he's like, it's awesome. I don't think it's going to get any better than this. 33 years.
Yeah.
Do you think that you being in the year has to do with your number?
Yes, it does. There's an idea, which I also trust in self, that like your energy spikes or like heightens during your birthday. There's this thing called your personal year. Then there's like a collective year. So right now we are in 2026, and the collective year of 2026 is a 1. How you get that is 2 + 0 + 2 + 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is distilled down to a 1. So it's like we start the clock again. And then every year as a collective, we're traveling through these numbers. Like as an Earth collective, we're in a year 1, which is like also associated, I think, with Chinese zodiac in some ways, where it's like, okay, we're in the year of this animal. Like we're in the year of the horse. Mm-hmm. So they're doing the same thing in just like with their own lens. There's this idea that there's a personal year and a collective year. So in 2026, we're in a collective year of 1, which is also the year of the horse. And then individually, we go through personal years. So like your personal year is based on when you were born, your month plus your day plus the year that you're currently in. That's your personal year. Themes around that number might be coming up for you in this year.
Wow, that's so cool. I'm looking mine up right now. 6.
I'd be so curious too to see like what Dakota's personal year is.
We're gonna find out. 3.
3?
And he's a 33.
Okay, yeah. And he turned 33 too? Wait, stop. Okay, cool, yeah.
He had the Venus-Jupiter conjunction right before his birthday.
Obsessed.
In his 8th house. So I'm like, are you gonna get a ring? We're gonna cut back to this a year later, and I'm gonna be like, something bad is gonna happen. I'll feel like an idiot.
No.
It's just so cool. Yeah, numbers are cool. They just feel like the pure essence. I didn't know we've said that, but it just feels like with astrology and all the different systems, it's like every numbers are always like the same everywhere.
That's what I love about it. It's very clear. Like, it's never going to change. Like, it's such a strong, it feels like an actual structure. Like, numbers, I don't know, like makes up the world. I don't know how to describe it. It just feels very like safe in the fact that it's never going to change.
Linz, should we talk about what each kind of number means, like the essence of each number from your studies?
Yes, we do. I'm house sitting and there's 2 dogs here that I'm watching. The first dog is named Zero. And then the little puppy, they're like, we got a puppy. And I'm like, what's its name? And they're like, it's Uno. And I was like, you guys are hilarious. But also, I'm recording a number episode in your home. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't know there would be number dogs in your house. Is 0 a number?
Yes, it is. 0 is like the Om. 0 is like God energy. It's God energy. It's like God, goddess energy. It's like ethereal. All is one in the sense of like all is 0.
All is one, all is none.
All is, yeah.
The whole, like the circle.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything in it. It's the vortex. Okay, number 1.
Uno, that's for you, Uno. I'm curious what his numerology is.
He's a starter. He's independent. He's a 111. 111 is beginnings, manifestations, starting over, being very grounded in yourself, like making strong decisions. A 1 type of personality is just someone that can like, they kind of don't necessarily need anyone to lead the way. So 1 energy is very self-sufficient. They're kind of known as like having great willpower just by themselves. Like they're individual, but they're also driving forward. They can be like new beginnings also. I see it a lot like in generations. This is just my interpretation again. Let me just be so for real. I'm always curious to know if you're born on the 1st, if you're like bringing in a new essence to the family line. And I think about that with my oldest brother. He's the 1st in the family. He's also born on a 1. My little cousin, who is like the 1st girl in my cousin's goddess trinity. There's 3 sisters. They're amazing. I call them the Trinity. And literally call them the Trinity. I'm like, bless me with your energy. Anytime I'm in their town, I'm like, are you around to give me a spell? And they're like, what are you saying? And because they're very normal and they're like not like me.
You're their cool on. You see the true essence. You see the mystical in people. And
they have 2 1s. Like the oldest sister is a 1, and then their little like the second daughter, or yeah, she had her little baby, and that baby is born on the 1st. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like things I think about. I don't know if this is necessarily like written in stone in a numerology cave somewhere that they're like, this is new energy based on your birth order and generationally, but like I find it to be a theme. Like it's just like you said about that Bridgerton girl, where you're like, oh, I feel this. Like I feel like there's a little story being told about the number you come into also within your family line. You know Prince Harry and Meghan Markle?
No, who are they? Just kidding. Yes.
This is so random, but I like read somewhere online that the queen before Queen Elizabeth was also born on August 4th, which is also Meghan Markle's birthday, August 4th. And I like, for some reason that stuck in my brain, not even necessarily because it was like about the queen or Meghan Markle or whatever, but I was like, how interesting is it? We have this energy in the family line, and then somewhere down the family line, like that same energy will reemerge.
That is so cool. We talked about the 1 that's like the leader, the starter, the beginning. So now we're kind of talking about the 2. You said like partnership,
intuitive and emotional and empathetic and sensitive, in the sense of like it senses things. Like yes, it might be sensitive in that term, but it's like sensory. Like it's very aware of dynamics. A 2 is also sort of associated with yin energy, like yin, that feminine energy, where because they're sensitive and they're sensing, like they take in a lot and they're observers. They're like about harmony in a different way than the 6 is. They're really partnership driven, and they're really, let's merge together and like form a pact. If a 2 is in your birthday, like you like working with other people more than just doing stuff on your own. Like you want like a buddy.
Body double.
Yeah.
I just looked up my mom's life path number. She's a 22.
Amazing. A 22 is angel energy. It's like angel and earth side. Like angel guide, earth guide. Like there's like duality there that's like really beautiful. Like it's an angel energy.
That's really interesting with the 2. Would you consider yourself to have some 2
Yeah.
since you have the 2 and the 5 in your chart? Yeah, or chart.
Yeah.
in your numbers. What would you say? Would you say that in your number pouch, in your number satchel?
My treasure chest of numbers. My number backpack. But you don't have to let it weigh you down. Like you also have free will in your life. Lately, I know this is coming up in like astrology circles is the degree of 29, the anaretic degree in your charts, and it's like gaining more momentum. And I've been studying the 29 for a while now because my dad is born on the 29 and he fascinates me. I find that 29 is like woof. If you're born on the 29th, like there are some serious life karmic challenges thrown your way and like some real serious things that I think 29s deal with.
Because in astrology, 29's final degree, anaretic degree, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And they often say it's like, it's exhausted by the time it's gotten through every single one of the degrees of that zodiac sign. By the time it gets to 29, it's like has the lessons from all of them, but it's tired.
That's exactly it. And it's
karmic. It's karmic.
They're so wise and they've like seen it all. And they really have seen it all. And they've been put through those trials and trials and trials and trials. But like by the end of life, it's like, yeah, like he really did see it all.
Do you feel like it's a teaching kind of a teaching kind of number, energy with like a 29 of like, oh, they're here to like teach something to humanity or share something?
I think yes, if they're not broken beforehand. I think 29 can go either way. Like you can, if you're in your light in a 29, I feel like, I swear to God, you could be like a millionaire. But like if like those trials just shoot just the wrong way, like a 29 can be swung real off course because you've gone through so many lessons. And I think it's almost like you were saying at the beginning, a full moon baby. That's kind of how I see a 29 too. It's like somebody that comes into this lifetime kind of cleaning up past lifetimes, not even necessarily cleaning them up, but like really embodying a very significant life based on prior lives, based on karma, based on this life, like really finalizing some things.
Yeah, I get super excited when I have clients that have 29 in their chart and they're like, what does it mean? And I'm like, let me tell you, but also you're going to have to find out on your own. I don't know. I just know it's exciting. Yeah, one client I had their rising, they're in their midheaven, both at 29 degrees.
Really? You know what else I find about 29 too is because it's 9, 10, 11, it's a master number. So it's an 11 energy, and an 11 energy is just a more independent form of a 2. And a 2 is really dependent. A 2 is like a helper, and like they're very kind, but they can get lost in the sauce by like attaching to things and like people pleasing. Like that's a huge in the shadow side of a 2 is a people pleaser, like someone that's just like, yes sir, yes man, I'll do whatever. Like a 2 can get really lost in peer pressure. There's like a side of empathy to 29 when they're in their light, that their source of empathy is like a master level of empathy. But if they are not channeling their empathy correctly or in a safe, mentally health safe way, like it can get pretty dangerous pretty fast. And then they're people dependent. They're like, that 2 in them is like doing what everybody else says. But because they're such a powerful master number, it can be like pretty detrimental.
So the 3
can be very creative because it's creation, like man, woman, child, like the creation number, the Trinity. Yeah, the magic of 3, everything comes in 3s. It's like the earth, it's kind of like associated with the earth because it's like a creation, like Mother Earth number. A lot of community, and then a ton of like art. 3s are very creative, like artistic wise.
Yeah, I was just gonna say how they say like comedy comes in 3s, or like in one of my improv classes, the teacher was like, why do we do something 3 times? And they're like, it's the smallest pattern. They said it so much better than I can say it, but they're like, 3 is like the shortest amount to create a pattern. 1 is, oh, that thing happened. 2 is, oh, it happened again. And 3 is like, oh, this is a pattern.
Yes. There's also theories of like the 369 is like a really magical artistic grouping because they all go into each other, right? A 3, a 6, it's double 3, and then the 9 is 3 times 3, 3, 3, 3. And so like that's a really powerful grouping of numbers. And like if you have that in your birth chart, you know who has a lot of 3, 6, 9 is Billie Eilish and Phineas. Their birthdays, and then I think I was like deep diving their like parents, if I could even find their parents' birthdays and stuff. But they have like a lot of 3, 6, 9s in there, I think, in their birthdays.
That's so cool with the families. And
I think it applies. I think it applies, like you can layer on top of your family's essences.
my brother and sister are both life path number 1s, and I'm a 9.
And you're next door to each other because the 9 goes back into the 1.
Yeah, it's like I'm finishing something up, they're starting something
Wow,
new.
that's so cool. Number 4, our angel, my best friend Lauren, is a number 4. And my little sister was a 22, which is a 4. 4s are cool as hell. I'm obsessed with 4s. I really am. They're like so grounded. They are so themselves.
Would you say like 4 legs, like an animal? Like they're just like on the
Like,
ground.
I'm here. And it's like, yes, you are.
Foundation.
Foundation.
They're like a table.
Yeah, they're so sturdy. They're like so reliable. They're really just self-aware, I feel like a 4 is. They like structured things. They say it's like the builder. Being in a 4 essence is like so lovely. I don't know. For people that are scattered, I love to be surrounded by 4 people because they're just calm, like little Yodas.
I'm curious if you have group chats in your phone of like, here are my number 4s, here are my number 9s, and then you reach out to the number 4s of like, oh, I want to do this type of activity.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to call my 2 girls. I'm going to call my...
Stop. That's a brilliant
Are you gonna
idea.
do this now?
Yes.
Hey, you know, dating app, but numbers.
Oh my God. It would work.
It also makes me think of Taurus when you say, again, my astrology brain,
Which is April.
which is April, which is the 4th month.
It all laps. It all laps. It's crazy. Okay, number 5.
Number 5, give it to me.
5s also love. I love all the numbers, but I love me a 5. 5s are usually like, oh, freedom. They're the wheel. They're ever adventuring. But I also find on top of that is like 5 is a lot of transformation. I always feel like 5 is also like Phoenix rising. I don't know. Something about a 5 is like transformational. I think a 5 is also analytical. In the Enneagram, it focuses on that. Like they're really detail oriented, they're analytical, like their minds like are really smart. A lot of electrodes passing back and forth in the brain. 5 is incredibly intelligent. Also, it's associated with Gemini because of May. Enneagram wise, points out like their analytical brain, that they're really intelligent, but then like angel number, which we'll get into, that speaks to more of like transformation, transition, like really re-evolving and forming and like learning new things and growing and really turning the wheel. Like a 5 can be like ever changing. Okay, number 6, it's associated with the nurturer, like harmony, love. There's a lot of relationship stuff happening with the 6. Like you find a lot of evolution through relationship. They're also analytical in a way. It's like a softer energy, kind of like a Virgo type of energy, maybe. Like just an energy that's like a fixer, a helper. If someone needs something, like a 6 will be there to bring it to them. Or like a 6 will be in the group project, like tying up the loose ends behind the group. That's kind of the vibe I get from 6s.
Wow. Yeah, my dad, again, I just looked this up while we were on this call.
Yeah.
My dad's a 6 life path.
Oh, wow.
And he also has Venus in Pisces. And he's a very like gentle soul.
Yeah.
Like he can be intense in his like Aries man, dad, boomer way. But but he also is very gentle and soft and sweet. And he has 5 siblings, and he's kind of like the peacemaker. He's also middle child within that dynamic. And as you were saying that, I was like, wow, okay. I'm also curious. So Dakota's a 33. Would that also make him a 6?
Yeah, you kind of get both. You get best of both worlds. You get both.
Don't get me started, because you know me, I used to be Hannah Montana.
Yes. I wish we could show the video of Abbie back in the day, back in her peak.
I mean, we could. Like,
On
will
roller
it be
skates?
good for me? I don't know. I used to make videos with BFF Victoria and her sister Elizabeth. We made a spoof version of Hannah Montana because we found a Elvis wig in their house that was falling apart. And I was like, oh my God, I was in like 8th grade or something. And I was like, what if we did Hannah Montana, but with this hideous Elvis wig? I used to be embarrassed about it. And then when I started doing improv and comedy, I was like, oh, this is examples of my early work. Like, anyway, best of both worlds with number 6. Is that what you said?
Best of both worlds, with number 6 being a master number of 33. Like if you have a 33 master number, you're also a 6. Same with like 22, you're also a 4. Or like if you're a master number 11, you're also a 2.
It's like once you've like graduated,
You're like that
your master level, you're like, oh, I still like I have my master's degree, but I still got my
like I
bachelor's
have a
degree
BA.
in number 4. Yeah.
I wouldn't reach 22 unless I did the work, bro.
I love that. Yeah, Dakota's also a nurturer. He's always on the phone solving problems for people.
I love that.
Everyone at work is telling them all their problems, and I'm like, you just always attract people like being like, I'm going through this.
Yeah.
And
Abbie, so sweet. That's like a perfect essence to be. Wow, like healthy love all day long. That's what we need, because it's so good to hear that. You want your partner to be a nurturer. Shout out Dakota.
Shout out Dakota. He listened to our episode the other day and he was like, oh, thanks for the shout out. I'm like, oh yeah, you haven't listened to any of this and you're mentioned in every episode. I don't ask for your consent. You are in every episode.
In the best way. Like, it's only praise for Dakota. It's only praise.
Only praise for my 33 husband that I'm like, I think you're wrong about this. And then I'm like, he's a 33, Abbie.
But it's all learning. Like, it doesn't mean like you come in as a master number life path. Like, you don't know everything. Like, that's why you're here still. Otherwise, like, none of us would be here. No little master numbers would be on Earth. Everyone's still learning. He's still learning too.
Master numbers just have their like grad school cap, you know? What do they put their little cape ropes on? Those people at graduation have like the ropes and you're like, what did you do where you got all these ropes?
I had those in high school, and then they're like, and there's like layers of stuff, and I was like, what is all this? And there's some secret code. I was like, what are these? Number 7 heaven. Let's just call it for what it is. 7 heaven, it's intuition. It's like higher wisdom, it's divine alignment, it's spiritual, it's in the clouds, it's lucky, it's associated with luck. 777 is like, ooh, hit the jackpot. I'm lucky. But it's lucky because it's just intuitive. It's just like, that's the biggest thing about a 7 is intuition. The Enneagram and like also Google kind of calls it like a seeker, like someone that's like interested in analyzing and like, I would agree with that. It's like somebody that's very much in their head, which is me. Like you could just like spin your thoughts for years, like the same storyline over and over and over and over. So it's like important that a 7 energy like gets outside, like gets to a yoga class, gets to
touch grass.
Yeah, because a 7 will like solve the world's problems, but like they'll be doing it in their bedroom for like 10 years and no one will hear from them. So like a 7 is like highly encouraged to like
I picture Merlin in the top of his little tower, like with his books.
Yeah, like a 7's like a poet, like on a mountaintop. They need to like share their knowledge and they need to like get outside and like move their bodies, and like that will only like amplify that energy and like help them for their deep search of whatever they're studying or whatever they're searching for or whatever they're learning.
Reminds me of Pisces.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Okay,
8, I don't know much about, so I'm excited about 8.
8 in the Enneagram is known as like the driver, like mad ambition, like CEO, like the boss. Like an 8 is like power, it's associated with materials, like money, which is interesting because the 8th house in astrology is like also associated with money and gains and that type of world. But 8 also in like a numerology type of space or more esoteric space can also be karma, your karmic rewards or whatever in this lifetime. Like, well, I'm a life path 8. But so the focus is more like you need to be more ambitious, you need to be working hard, you need to be driving and like building. It's like massive building. It's like double 4. So it's like if 4 is a builder and 8 is like an empire builder. I've found that a lot of like friends of mine that are born on the 8 are incredibly driven. Like my friend Cassie is born on an 8, and like that's my friend that I feel so safe with when we're out partying, because she's just like driving the train, she's driving the bus, she's just like, I just gotta get in and buckle my seatbelt because she's like, will get me home safe. And that's like so 8 energy to me. Another person I know like is in their own band and like leads this band, they're an 8. So an 8 is just kind of like they're moving, and they're moving hard and fast.
That's so cool. Of like how we're already doubling up. We're still in the single numbers, but after 3, you're already like amplifying like 1, 2, 3. Those are the core, right? And then it's like, once you get to 4, you're already at double 2. And then once you get to 8, you're already at double 4. Like, it's just so cool. I've never thought about it like this.
It's really fun. Yeah, 8s are also associated with money. Like 8 is always associated with money. You can gain financially like really fast, quote unquote, or like maybe faster than other energies. It's like the movement of money is faster, which can be good and bad. So like you could also lose money faster. Everything's light and dark. So it's not like I'm gonna perpetually win a bunch of money or gain a bunch of money. Like you can also lose a bunch of money fast, but money seems to be associated with 8.
Yeah, it's like 4 times 2 is 8. There's the foundation, and then you're building upon it more. You have the bigger house, you have more stuff now, you have the property.
That's exactly it. It's like, yeah, 4 is like a slow build. Like a 4 energy is like gonna really take their time, like, and like if their job is an auditor, they're gonna like go through each person and really audit. And like an 8 is just like, an 8 would like hire a team of auditors and like run through that faster, like with more momentum. Like, yeah, like everything's like compound interest with an 8. So you got to be careful. Whoa. So you better be like karmically aligned. So like you better be like that's what they say. They say like an 8 can be a millionaire, but like if an 8 does anything shiesty, like good fucking luck. Because like as fast as you're building, like karma will bite you equally as fast. So like an 8, it's really important for 8 energies to be on the up and up.
PSA to 8s, watch your back.
Like if you're doing it right, like cool, you're gonna send it, but like just make sure you're like really doing things cognizantly.
Oh my god, you know, I think how like people born on August 8th are usually crazy.
Is that your theory? No. Wait, really? You have a theory?
I just know multiple people that born on August 8th that I'm like, they're a little like,
that's what? 8 energy. 8 can be like insane. Like an 8's like, I'm gonna drive a ship into the sea in the middle of the night. Like, they don't stop. They have no off button.
She wanted to get into Harvard. She got into Harvard. She went to Oxford, went to the Marines, became a Marine. She's married to this grifter. Her baby registry, she was asking for like a $500 jacket for this baby. Just like crazy 8s.
We're proving it. This is a case study, and I didn't even crack a beer. To me too, like money matters. Like an 8 cares about money, is like very aware of the exact amount they have in their bank account / exactly how they can reach the next goal level of whatever they're trying to achieve. A little sprinkle of 8, like you're set. Like everybody should have a little sprinkle, because like you want to have a little drive. To an 8's credit, like they'll fucking do it. Like if an 8 says, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, it's done. 9.
Number 9. It's me though. Tell me about myself. Well, I don't know what my Enneagram is, but my life path, I'm a number 9.
Okay. Number 9 is the most mysterious to me. Everybody's confounded by the number 7. Like the general consensus is like, what is 7? To me, what is 9? I feel like 9, it's the final number, so you encompass all the previous numbers. So there's like this enlightened essence to a 9. They're known to be peacemakers. They're the final number, so there's a lot of like final lessons with a 9. Like we talked about the 29 analytic degree. Like there's a lot of finality in a 9. There's a lot of final lessons and like completion, because it's the final number before going back to a 1. So it's the right at the edge of the circle. 9s always come off as like pretty mystical to me. They're intuitive how a 7 is intuitive, but then they're also pretty creative, like because they're triple 3s. I'm like still puzzled by a 9 to this day.
Maybe it's because like you've done all the numbers, you're at 8 and you haven't gotten to 9 yet, maybe like in your soul journey. And so you're like, I know all these numbers. I know them.
Yes.
I know, like, I met this person. I know. And then it's like, oh, but I haven't.
Wait,
I'm at 8 right now.
Abbie, but you're life path 9. Like, do you feel called to 9s? Like, do you know much about a 9?
What I pictured in my mind, because I know, like, again, I don't know a lot about tarot. I don't study it, but it's in my feed. It's in my Instagram. I have some tarot cards. I've gotten tarot readings. I like it. I just don't know it that well. I know each number is associated with one of the cards, the major arcana.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to say that. And number 9 is the Hermit card. And so my understanding of the Hermit card is it's like they got their little lantern. They're searching for meaning in solitude. They're searching for the answers in solitude maybe, or they're kind of like they need to go within for the answers, and they're trying to bring the light with them.
And they say like 9 energy can be connected to like ghosts is also what I've like heard and seen. And then with people that I know that are 18s, I know a lot of people that are an 18. They always have like an element of like they're really like tatted up into ghosts.
Tail.
Yes.
You know what it made me think of with number 9 and how you're an 8
Yeah.
is how like I'm a balsamic moon, the last moon phase, and you're a last quarter, which is right before it. So like 8 last quarter, and then I'm 9 in balsamic.
Okay, then you have a lot to teach on your life path journey, like being a 9, like closing the loops. It's also kind of like peacemakers, like people that are bringing people together.
Yeah, I am very much like I'm the one who's texting in the group chat in my family. I'm the one who's like trying to pull these people together.
That also might be the 6 in you too.
The 6 in me. Yeah, maybe that's the Cancer, the 6. I also feel like I have a lot of like karma that I don't know what I did. I just feel like I got a lot of enemies for reasons
Got a
unknown.
lot of enemies.
So I'm like past. So we talked about the essence of numbers 1 through 9. Yeah, Linz, can you tell me a little bit about angel numbers?
Angel numbers are messages sent from your guides, sent from the angels, sent from whoever's on your team, or if you need a little nudge in a specific direction, or maybe it's just like a daily reminder. And there's like a generic format of like 1111, new beginnings, 222, true angel number, like partnership, like your angel is with you. I'm supporting you. I'm celebrating you. I'm team you is like 222. For me, 222 is like my sister's number. 333, that's like a creation number, creative number. 444 is very like you're protected. When I see 444, I feel immediately safe. I don't know if a lot of people feel that way, but like 444 to me is a safety number. Like if I see 444, I'm like, whew, okay, like I'm safe.
Now I'm a 444 carrier for people.
Oh, wow.
Because I have 444 tattooed. Again, yeah, because I'm like, you're protected, you're safe. And so people will notice that and be like, oh my God, I've been seeing 444 everywhere and you have it as a tattoo. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yay, I am a carrier of the message of 444 for people. So if anyone is watching on YouTube and sees my little 444 on my arm.
Wait, that's beautiful. It's like a beautiful blessing. What a good choice. What a good energy number.
I didn't think of it like that. I was like, I need to be reminded that I'm safe.
Oh my God, but then you've become like the beacon of safety for everyone else.
I love 444. I don't see it as much lately. For a while, that was like my numbers that I was like, okay, things are going to be okay.
And that's the thing about this. Whatever number has significance to you, that's also going to have a different number for you. Like these are the generic messages, but it's like you might have a loved one and their team sports number is like 17, and then it's like that then can become an angel number. Like these are your generic 111, 222, 333, but it's like you can also have this message means something really specific to me, and like that can also hold meaning.
So basically with like angel numbers, when you see a number pattern that has significance to you, or if maybe it's a brand new pattern and it's like strikes you as like, whoa, that's interesting, or I keep seeing 999, that's kind of like, that's what you mean by like your angel numbers, right?
Yeah, a message from the divine, a message from maybe your guides, a message from maybe like an passed on loved one, or even just like a little message from the universe, like, hey, here's my little daily note for you. Like it could be as significant as you want, and it can also be as small, like a little small nudge as you want.
I love seeing new numbers that I don't know what they mean yet. I forget when I was seeing 888, but I was seeing 888 at one point, and then I was like, show it to me a couple more times, and I kept seeing it. It's just interesting to meditate on like, okay, why am I seeing this number pattern? What does that mean for me?
Yes, and it's funny you say like,
yeah,
it can come in waves. Like I've noticed, like it's so strange. Like it'll be days in a row where I'll see the same number sequence, and I'm like, wow, this is really prevalent. And then a different part of my life, it's a different number sequence, and it'll come in waves. And I'm like, okay, that's the message for this time of my path.
Yeah, like right before I moved, I was seeing a lot of 999.
Yes, wait, so we should continue the numbers. 555 is like break-in pattern. Something's gonna shift, change, big or small. It's just like, whoop, we're gonna go in a different direction. And it's not necessarily like endings. Like a 9 is like, this chapter is closing. A 5 is kind of like, okay, slip and slide to the next page. It's not even necessarily like themes are ending. It's just like, all right, let's check out this path. Let's check out this adventure. Let's get on a plane this way. Like it's kind of like get your ass up and move. Take the reins and like get going, and like something transitional, something transformational is happening. Something evolutionarily different could be happening or is about to happen. 666, I don't see a lot of 666. but 666 would be more like nurturing love.
There's like bad connotations with
The
666,
devil.
like the devil's number or whatever. So yeah, I was curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
You said it's more
Well,
love
it's
and
interesting
partnership.
because technically in the tarot, like if we looked at the tarot, 15 is the arcana for the devil, and that's a 6. But then the Lover's card, all about like healthy love, is a 6. And so I think it's really interesting that this number specifically is inverted. Classic patriarchy and like harsh religion, flipping a 6 into the devil is like so fascinating to me. And maybe it's like love in excess can be bad. And maybe that's where like the devil comes in, like lust.
Right, but couldn't we just say that?
Right. Like,
You know, like could we just be like, oh, be careful, love and excess, instead of like the devil and you're going to hell and you're gonna burn for eternity.
so it's
a little
so dramatic. And I really think that's like the result of the era that we're in, of like the hyper Christianity and the hyper like strictness around human life and human experience. And I think that's just gone really skewed. Like, I don't think 666 was meant to be evil or scary or whatever, because in the tarot it's like the Lover's card. So it's just so fascinating to me that like how interesting that the number that can be the most beautiful got inverted. There's a lot to that. There's a lot to that.
Feels like sexual, maybe. If 3 is creation, then 6 is like double creation.
Like harmony, family, nurturing, mediating, connection, partnership.
If you've seen 666, let us know what you think. I'm curious. I don't really see 666
I
either.
never see 666. And like, who knows? Maybe everybody's gonna come in with like their spookiest, scary story ever, and they're like, "It's right when I saw 666," and like we'll have to reevaluate.
Or maybe they have a sexual awakening. At
Maybe.
666. I don't know why I'm feeling sex. Probably because you said like the devil.
Yeah,
and
because I think it's
lovers,
like
and I'm
lust and like there's like an obsession element to like the devil tarot card. Sometimes when you pull the devil card, it could be like, oh, my crush is obsessed with me, like in an unhealthy way, but it's still kind of like a little hot because you're like, ooh, sexy. Like someone's obsessed with me.
So we see 666.
Obviously, everyone stay safe. Like, obsession is not like, please be aware.
We're gonna be one of those podcasts that's like, if you see this, your crush is coming back, or like if you respond to this message, I'm ready, then that means your crush is on his way, or something like that.
Okay, 777 spirituality. Whoa. So that might be like, ooh, this is like interesting philosophical little note to think about. That might have a little significance to it in like a intuitive way.
I feel like a peacefulness with like 7. Is that true? Like a kind of like a peaceful, like calm, kind of like safe energy.
I 100% agree with that. 777 feels very good to me. It feels like very like a little lucky hello, like a little like a sparkle. 7 is like a little Tinkerbell sparkle, and same with 222. But those are like my numbers. 888 is usually money. So 888, like if you're seeing 888, maybe like there's a sum of money coming through, or maybe like you should think about where you're at with your money, or if something's like you need to reevaluate your money, or power, or karma. But I don't get a lot of 888s. So again, like maybe if you get a lot of 888s, how do you associate that? And then 999 is like pretty cut and clear. It's just like chapter ending. It's always how I see it. Like you said, you saw it right before you moved. That's so fascinating. That's like, okay, this is the final chapter.
Yeah. So
There's
those
the
are
numbers.
the angel numbers. Let us know what you think or what your experience is with the different numbers.
Look out for numbers that are specific to you. Maybe your grandpa loved this number. It's so beautiful with an angel number because, like, yes, you can see like 333 and 444, but an 11 is like my sister's number. Yes, it can mean beginnings, but like when I see an 11, I'm like, oh, lease. Or like when I see a 222, like, oh, lease, because those are specific to her. And so I think just if you're listening to this, just kind of like, it's also important to know what is meaningful to me, because all of this could be meaningless, or it could be meaningful for you in a different way.
I wrote like probably my favorite song that I've ever written on 22222.
I think 222 is one of the most powerful ones, but that's crazy.
And I remember they told me on my Instagram, my algorithm, they were like, the portal's open.
Portals.
There's always a portal. The Lion's Gate. We're going to be seeing a lot about the Lion's Gate. The 888 portal. What's your feeling about the portals?
Okay, well, I'll just like give a little shout out to 222. I think 222 is the most powerful one. Mine is 777, but I think 222 is like pure love frequency, like partnership, love, love, love. Like 2 is such a number of love, because it's that partnership and equality too, because two is equal, like one and one, and it feels really equal, like there's nothing else going on, and just, yeah, two is like unconditional love to me. So I just love us seeing a 222. It's like pure love. Okay, but portals, I don't know. I think it's all what you make it. Have I thrown a wishing coin into a fountain in Portugal on the 8-8 Lionsgate portal? Yes, I have. Have I participated in weird lucky traditions in different countries on a portal? 1,000,000%. I think it's all what you make it. Like, you can use the energy and flow like a fish in the direction that the energy's taking you, and like that can send you a certain way. But yeah, it's like if you're forcing the portal stuff, like, please don't open any
What would you say about today? Please don't open a portal without thinking it through, you eights out there. So today is 62626. What do you think about that?
I just think that's quirky as hell. 62626 is just fun. Like, what a funny day. I don't know. Doesn't have to be that serious.
It's been kind of a funny day.
Oh, it's been like back and forth, that's for sure. Maybe that's what it's all about.
6262626.
That's just the universe playing a joke on us. I don't know. It can like mean everything and mean nothing, but I like when it means something.
Right. Like, why not have life have meaning for you in like the symbols and the esoteric? Yeah. Whatever floats your boat.
Angel numbers are really cool. It is cool to see them, and it is cool to see them like on license plate. It's just like things that you're like, okay, this really is sending me something, because like I wouldn't have seen it 10 times in one day, like a really unique sequence. Like, what?
It's just moments like where you look up and there it is without looking for it. You're like, this feels significant.
You know what's funny? I think I told you this story too, with signs in general, just because we're on the topic of it. But for a while, I was like, all right, like, I want to see if I get a sign or whatever. And I was like, okay, Lise, send me. I was like, this is like years ago. I was like, I have to think of something silly. I was like, okay, send me like a pickle. Like, if you're like hanging out or whatever, like, send me a pickle. Like, that's so random. Like, I don't experience pickles anywhere. And then I turned the corner and someone graffitied on the wall. It was a completely blank wall. No, it wasn't like mixed in with graffiti at all. I was in a random street, not in any part of town where graffiti would even be. And I turned the corner and someone just wrote the word pickle on the wall. Like, not an image. It was not a part of anything else. And it was so funny because it was just like, it was written out. And I was like, Lise, that is hilarious. Thank you for sending me that. It was such a good sign. Shortly after that, that's when like the pickleball explosion happened. And I was like, wait, stop. I was like...
I love that. That's so sweet.
It was so funny, and it was so sweet. It was just funny because it was like really clear, but then in a silly way. It was like in a way like you would never expect it. Like, okay, a pickle on my sandwich. Like, who's to say that was a sign, or just like somebody's lunch?
Or is this just what comes with the lunch?
Is that like an add-on? Like, I'm eating a Subway sandwich. Stay with angel numbers. Like, if it comes to you and it feels like, if you feel it like in your sense of self, like, ooh, that's it, then like probably that's it. And you will feel it, because it's hard to, because then I think the next question is like, okay, well, like, what does that feel like? And it's like, I can't describe to you. It's just like that little inkling. It's that little light that's like, ooh, that feels like unique.
For me, it's like a whoa. Yeah. That's what it kind of feels like. Like, whoa. Okay. Like, it kind of like makes me rear my head back a little bit. Maybe not this much. That kind of hurts. But like...
And it kind of stops you in your tracks too, actually. It's like, okay, I'm pausing. Like, I'm literally like physically standing in front of this wall saying pickle, taking a picture of it. Like this is like, I'm really paused in my life.
So reminding you when you're going about your day-to-day life and you're blah, 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 I'm in the day-to-day, I'm, in my head. It's a reminder of like, hey, pause. Like, pause the game.
Whoa.
What's happening? What are you feeling? Remember that you're here right now. Like, it's whatever you need in that moment. Was there anything else that you wanted to say more about before we kind of wrap it up?
I think just keep an eye out for your angel numbers. And like, once you start noticing the same birthday essence in people, like, I swear to God, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Like, okay, like these patterns just keep coming up all over, and it's just fun to like see the world through that lens. Knowing you're not alone, like there's collective energies happening, like the year you're born, like you're in a group of souls, like that feels really safe and fun. And like your life path number, that's a fun number to look up. So if you're just curious about self and curious, like definitely look up your personal number, your life path number. your year number. And then just like it'd be fun to like see what the people around you have too. Just to get to know them and see if it makes sense for you, see if it aligns true to you.
I love that. Numbers make life fun.
But that's it for numbers. Like, I hope you enjoyed today, and check out your angel numbers, look into your Enneagram. It's just like a fun little quirky world once you get into the world of numbers. And yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I really love everything I learned today. It was a blast getting to know your brain. You just helped me see things in a different, more expansive way than like I had than I'd previously thought about things. So thank you for sharing your genius with me and with everyone on the pod.
Yes. Thank you too. Love you, Abbie.
Love you. Bye.